Welcome back, guys, to the Andrei Delic podcast. I'm your big and famous host, Andrei Delic. Okay, so guys, today it's going to be a reality check mixed with a little bit of soccer. Of course, as you guys know me, I fucking love soccer, so there's always going to be soccer involved in my podcast episodes. But guys, before I start off the podcast, the episode, the reality check, I just want to make a couple of announcements. Next week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, football is back. And I'm not saying that NFL is back. The real European football is back. Real football is back. I'm so fucking stoked. I'm so fucking happy. And as you guys know, ADP, Andrei Delic Podcast, is the number one football podcast in the world. So of course, I'm going to be covering every week. So it's going to be week one. There's an episode. It's going to be a recap, commentary, analysis, and then predictions for next week. That's going to be for the entirety of the football season. I'm not going to be alone. The GOAT, Mr. Day One, is going to be joining me, co-hosting with me. Luka Delic, Daddy Luka Delic will be back. And like I said, this year, just like last year, we went crazy with football, with soccer, me and my brother. But this season, man, it's going to be 100 times bigger than what it was last season. ADP football season 2025-2026 is going to kickstart next week. It's probably going to be live episodes on YouTube. So probably on Thursdays or Wednesdays, probably Thursday. That's my ideal day, because as you guys know, Tuesday and Wednesday you have the Champions League games, and then in the weekend you have the league matches. We're going to be covering actually, me and Luka. Maybe sometimes I'll have guests from time to time just to help us cover the game better and get different perspectives on the game and analysis features. But we're going to be covering the top 5 leagues. So La Liga, English Premier League, Serie A, Bundesliga, and League One. And also, of course, the king competitions of all competitions in the world, the UEFA Champions League. So next, it's starting the 15th of August, EPL and La Liga kick off with, I think, Bundesliga, I'm not sure, but next week, the games start. Next week, before the games start for the first week, me and Luke are going to do a preseason episode. We're going to be talking about preseason stats. It's mostly going to be predictions, commentary on transfers that happened, but mostly predictions and our thoughts before the season officially kicks off. What else could I say? Like I said, those football episodes are going to be live streamed on YouTube, and then I'm going to post them on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and of course clips on Instagram and TikTok, but they're going to be live streamed on YouTube, on my Andrei Delic Podcast YouTube channel. Then I'm going to make clips, whatever. What else? I'm going to be covering all the top 5 leagues with the best analysis, me and my brother. The Champions League, of course, and there's going to be one weekly episode for football every single week of the season. And it's always going to be like I said, week one, then recap, analysis, commentary, and then predictions going into week 2, and then recap, analysis, blah, 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 all the way till week 38, which is the last week of the top 5 leagues, and of course, Champions League. And then, as you guys know, in 2026, the World fucking Cup is coming to Canada, America, and Mexico, to North America. And like I said, like I predicted once, ADP, my podcast, Andrei Delic Podcast, will be sponsored by the World Cup. Me and Luka, and maybe I'll bring other co-hosts with me, but ADP will be at the FIFA World Cup. We'll be sponsored. We'll be covering the tournament, the final, everything. ADP, mark my words, guys. I'm gonna go fucking crazy. I'm gonna go fucking berserk this upcoming season of football. As you guys know, we're number one football podcast in the world. We have the best analysis, the best commentary, the best everything. ADP, and in the World Cup, that's gonna be ADP's breakthrough. We're gonna go fucking crazy. I'm gonna quit my 9-to-5. Knock on wood. I'm gonna quit my 9-to-5, and I'm gonna be a full-time podcaster, which is my dream. I'm going to fucking make it happen. I don't give a fuck. It's going to happen. And I'm going to kickstart it off with the World Cup in 2026, man. And when it will happen, because it will fucking happen, it's going to be like a dream come true. I mean, ever since I was young, I always wanted to be a professional soccer player. I was really good. Not professional level though. I always wanted to play in Europe. Top 5 leagues were like my biggest fucking dream, man. When I was young, man, it was so like I would only eat, sleep, football. Talk about football, think about football, watch football, play football, practice football. Football was like my entire world when I was young. Like fucking when I was in high school, I wasn't even getting with girls. I wasn't even partying or anything. I was just playing football, talking about football, thinking about football, watching football, analyzing football, whatever. Professional football didn't happen for me. It didn't happen. Of course, then years after that, I was like a bit lost. Okay, I mean, I'm going to go to university. Of course, I have to fucking do something. I can't just stay in bed at home and do nothing. So I enrolled in University of Ottawa, sociology. I was working part-time as a bartender while being a full-time student. And then with this podcast, man, it like ignited a fire inside of me that's bigger than what ignited a fire inside me when I was playing football. My love for podcasting, my passion for podcasting is 10 times bigger than my passion for footballing, for playing football was. And I feel like God directed me to this path. I felt like, fuck, if I'm not being a professional soccer player, what can I do? God had other plans in his mind. He said, Andre, you may not see it now, but walk by faith, not by sight. I will make your path straight. And he introduced me to the podcasting world, and I'm so fucking hooked on it, man. That's my biggest fucking passion. I'll never stop podcasting until I become a multi-million dollar, until I have a multi-million dollar podcast and I'm a world-known podcaster. That's my goal. I'm gonna fucking make it happen. The only thing that can stop me is death. So if I die, then hey, there's nothing I can do there, but nothing's going to stop me. No one's going to stop me. I don't give a fuck. I hear so many people, talk behind my back, or people bash me, say, oh, you should stop your podcast, stop investing in it. It's never going to happen. I mean, guys, you can say whatever you want. It's never going to stop me. It's never going to shut off the flame inside of me for podcasting. It's never going to cut off my drive. It's never going to fucking happen. Like, I give a fuck what you guys think. I mean, with all due respect, fuck your opinion. With all due respect, I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm never going to stop. Today is episode number 91. Not bad. I mean, for someone who does a lot of podcasting, for a professional podcaster like Theo Von, Joe Rogan, whoever, that's not a lot. But for someone like me, 25, started at 22, 23, I don't make money doing podcasts. I spend my own money to do podcasts. It's really fucking good, man. 91 episodes. I'm really proud of myself, but that's nothing, man. I'm aiming for 9,000 episodes, 90,000 episodes, whatever. I'm doing this for the rest of my life. So guys, like I said, this season, me and Luca, we're going fucking crazy for the 2025-26 footballing season. Top 5 leagues in Europe, the Champions League also, and then the fucking World Cup. And the World Cup final will be in New York. MetLife Stadium. I watched like 4 games. I watched Messi like 3 times in that stadium. Once I saw, in 2019, I saw Atletico Madrid versus Real Madrid. It was fucking crazy to see, man. Fucking loved it. And it's going to happen, guys. Believe me, mark my words. Make sure you follow, subscribe, comment, like. Even if it's a hate comment, a love comment, I don't give a fuck. But just make sure you watch my podcast and make sure that you're there for the podcast, because we're doing crazy stuff, man. Okay, so guys, let's get into the reality check. Did I do all the menage I had to do for this podcast? Yeah, next week, yeah, I did everything. So let's get into the reality check. Oh, before I get into the reality check, yo, mes amis de Gatineau, bro, en venant ici en conduisant, j'arrive avec ma whip, Mazda, j'arrive, lumière rouge, boum, j'arrête. Bro, je vois un char de police l'autre bord. Puis vu que c'est assez loin, je peux pas voir qui est à l'intérieur. Je peux voir si c'est une femme ou un gars. Mais je vois un char de police. Puis veux pas. Naturellement, je sais pas pourquoi. Peut-être psychologiquement, il y a une raison pourquoi. À chaque fois, il y a une auto de police, tout le monde regarde. On regarde. Je sais pas pourquoi. C'est intéressant, mais on regarde. Je le vois venir. Là, je vois une Stife à l'intérieur. Bro, sur la vie de ma mère, la Stife était fucking chaude. Bro, j'étais comme, bro, sacrément, bro. Comme j'en ai parlé sur mon podcast déjà, mais j'étais comme, Chris, bro, elle est fucking chaude. Manu, bro, j'étais à 2 pouces de juste comme tourner, être face à face à elle, parker, aller la voir. Je suis comme, de 1, t'es vraiment belle. De 1, t'es vraiment belle. De 2, c'est qui ton boss? de 3, qui t'a engagé? T'as son nom spécifique. Oh, mais pourquoi tu vas voir son nom? C'est pas important. Pose pas trop de questions. Continue à faire ta vie. Continue à faire ta job. Continue à être belle comme que t'es. Mais s'il te plaît, donne-moi le nom du gars qui t'a engagé. Bro, comme s'il te plaît, je pense que j'ai des amis policiers sur mon Instagram. Si vous voyez ce clip-là, ou vous voyez l'épisode complet, s'il te plaît, donnez-moi le nom du gars. M'a l'amené sur le podcast, j'ai des questions à lui poser. Moi, c'est un petit top G, ce gars-là, bro. Il sait qu'est-ce qu'il fait, là. Tabarnak, bro. Chaque fois que je vois chaque fois que je vois une policière qui travaille pour la police à Gatineau, elle est toujours fucking chaude, bro. Sacrement, gros. D'abord, dis-moi pas que tu sais pas qu'est-ce que tu fais, là. Tu sais très bien qu'est-ce que tu fais, là. Mais t'es chaude, pis j'étais comme sacrement, bro. J'étais pisse, mais j'étais content, comme je te dis. Je suis pisse parce que je suis comme sacrement, bro. Elles sont toutes fucking chaudes. Comme tabarnak. Mais en même temps, je suis content parce que je suis comme yeah, elles sont toutes fucking chaudes. Tu vois ce que je veux dire? C'est fucking nice. Comme yo, that's what's up. Gatineau, G-Town, stand the fuck up. Tu vois ce que je veux dire? Mais fuck, bro. Ça, c'est un side note pour mes Gatinois, mes Québécois qui écoutent cet épisode-là. Bro, c'est fou, là. Okay, so guys, first topic for this reality check number 20. For people who know Calvin Klein, they did like this photo shoot. They did like this, however you call it, with what's her name, bro? How the fuck did I forget her name? What's her name? Sydney Sweeney. Beautiful girl, blonde, blue eyes, beautiful girl, very beautiful, all American type of girl. They did a campaign with Sydney Sweeney, and I mean, the internet went crazy. So many people for it, so many people against it. I'm all for it. ADP will always be all for it. Andrei Delic is always all for beautiful women being on the covers of magazines and just modeling in general. Sydney Sweeney is a bombshell. She's really fucking hot. I know why people hate on her. Oh, she's not all that hot. They're just jealous that a blonde white girl with blue eyes is that hot, because she is fucking hot. And then I have this picture here. I'm going to share it with you guys. Calvin Klein 2023. So this is what their campaign looked like in 2023. What the actual fuck, man. Guys, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to bash them or fucking, I don't know, but this, models shouldn't look like this. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. Models shouldn't look like this. Models should look like this. Meaning they should be fucking hot. That is the nature of the job. It's always been the nature of the job. If you want to be a model, female or male, you have to be good looking. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, where do we lose that? Let's say I want to be an astronaut for NASA. I don't have any prerequisites. I don't have any knowledge on space or on engineering or whatever you need. I don't have any schooling in regards to being someone who works for NASA, to be an employee at NASA. I don't have anything. I don't have capacities, requirements. I don't have the necessary skill set to work there. And I'm like, but you know what? I want to feel represented. I want dumb people to feel represented. You need to hire me at NASA. What the actual fuck? That's the same logic. So guys, Calvin Klein 2023, American Eagle 2025. So beautiful, man. I'm so hot. I'm so happy. And this guy on Twitter said the woke era is over. I'm so fucking happy. I feel like it is over. It's slowly dying in 2025. And in the coming years, it's slowly gonna die more and more because it doesn't make any fucking sense. The woke era doesn't make any fucking sense. It's gonna die. It's something that we tried ever since 2014, 15 to push, an agenda to push, which just doesn't make sense. There's no logic behind it. That's why it's not going to work. It's going to die out. I'm so fucking happy, man, that the woke era is fucking dying, man. And I love Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney, if you see this fucking clip, please come on my podcast. And even better, do you want to be my girlfriend? I'm looking for a girlfriend. You're good looking. I'm good looking. Let's make it happen, Sydney Sweeney. But I'm just joking. But hey, if you want to come on my podcast, I'll have many questions for you. We can have a beautiful conversation. Of course, I was just joking about the girlfriend and boyfriend thing. But we can have a beautiful conversation. And if you want to come on my podcast, you're more than welcome on my podcast. And also, people from American Eagle, thank you. Thank you for not caving to the woke mob, for not caving to the woke population. Thank you for bringing normalcy back into the world. And thank you. From the deepest part of my heart, thank you for putting a hot girl to represent you guys and for putting a smoking hot girl on your campaign and on your advertisements. Thank you, American Eagle, from me and from everyone that I represent, everyone ADP represents, all my followers, all my subscribers, all my following. We thank you. Thank you, American Eagle, for bringing normalcy back to the world. And thank you for literally everything. You saved the world. You guys are progressing the world, making the world make steps forward into a better and more natural world for my kids and my kids' kids. Thank you, American Eagle. This was a message from Andrei Delic from ADP, Andrei Delic Podcast. Now, of course, many other people had their opinions regarding this. Someone wrote, I love the new Sydney Sweeney ads for American Eagle. Normal hot girls are back. I agree. Thank you. I love Sydney Sweeney. Thank you, American Eagle. I fucking love you. Normal hot girls are back. Not porn, not trans, not gay, not obese to make a point, not wearing a headscarf to be inclusive, not political, just a hot girl in jeans. The world is healing. Whoever wrote this, I fucking salute you, bro. You're a national hero. American Eagle, you guys are a national hero also. And thank you for putting Sydney Sweeney, for healing us, for healing a wound that the Western world, especially North America, had a big wound for the past 10 years. Thank you, American Eagle, and thank you, Sydney Sweeney. And then American Eagle went on into their personal IG account to write, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. I agree, she does. Is and always was about the genes. Her genes, her story. We'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their American Eagle jeans with confidence their way. Great jeans look good on everyone. They played here with the game, with the word genes, meaning your natural genes, your biological genes, and jeans that you wear. Thank you, American Eagle. Thank you for everything. Okay, so guys, all hate is bad. I don't care, even if it's towards a bad person, even if it's towards a group of people that are considered to be bad, all hate is bad hate. We tend to judge people at face value only from what we know, but maybe that person that we consider to be bad, maybe we don't truly understand that person, and maybe deep down he has a bigger wound. Now, of course, if that person, even if he's wounded deep down or whatever, even if he does bad actions, we should still give him consequences for his bad actions. It doesn't excuse his bad actions, whatever he feels, whatever he went through. I mean, everyone has life hard. We all went through hard shit in our lives. No one has life easy, no matter who you are. No matter what your background is, no matter who your parents are, no matter what your social economic background is, no matter how rich your parents are, no matter how fucking beautiful you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how competent you are, life fucking knocks us all down. We all have it hard. Life is hard for everyone, which makes life fair. Life is unfair for everyone, which in a way makes life fair because it's unfair for everyone. But at the end of the day, let's all try to be a bit nicer to everyone. All hate is bad. Love conquers all. Amor vincit omnia. It's true. It's a fucking fact. And hating a group of people is bad. Hating someone is bad. You're only putting hate in your heart. And it's not good. It's not good, man. It's never good. Try to prosper love into the world because there's enough hate in the world, and more love you can give to the world, the better it is. And the better it's going to be for you, for the more love you can give in the world. Okay, so guys, as you guys saw, Shannon Sharpe was fired from ESPN because what happened, he had like sexual intercourse with an OF girl who was 20 years old. And then she sued him. She took like $50 million from him, which is sad. I mean, I forgot who, but someone warned Shannon Sharpe on his podcast, Club Shay Shay. It was an older woman who warned him about younger women, that they're only out here to get him for his money, for his fame, for his status, whatever. He was warned. And this 20-year-old girl, I think she's Latina. She looks white, but maybe she's white Latina. She's 20 years old. And if I'm being honest, she fucking wrecked his life, man. She took him for $50 million and he got fired from ESPN because of what happened with that 20-year-old girl. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I know it was something with sexual intercourse. She said that. I'm not sure, but let's see. What happened with Shannon Sharpe with the 20-year-old girl? ChatGPT is thinking, bro, my connection is bad. Maybe I won't even. Here's what's publicly known about the situation involving Shannon Sharpe and a 20-year-old woman. In April 2025, a civil lawsuit was filed in Nevada by a woman, initially identified as Jane Doe, later revealed to be Gabriela Zuniga, a 20-year-old OnlyFans model. She accused Shannon Sharpe of multiple instances of sexual assault, including rape, emotional abuse, and unauthorized recordings, alleging it occurred during a rocky consensual relationship dating back to 2023 when she was 20 years old. So now she's 22. The lawsuit sought $50 million in damages and detailed claims of threats and manipulation, including alleged violent language. Sharpe denied the allegations, calling the lawsuit a shakedown and releasing text messages purportedly showing consensual, sexually explicit relationship. July 18, 2025, the case was settled confidentially and dismissed with prejudice, which means it cannot be refilled. Neither party admitted guilt. While the settlement amount remains undisclosed, reports suggest it was substantially less than $50 million, possibly exceeding $10 million, with some sources estimating about $23 million. As a result of the lawsuit, ESPN cut ties with Sharpe by late July 2025. He had already stepped away from his role on First Take earlier in the process. Additional fallout includes reputational damage, resurfaced controversial interviews, examples, remarks about dating younger women, and public backlash. Yo, Shannon Sharpe, he got his life ruined because of his desire for lust for a 20-year-old, 21, 22-year-old OnlyFans model girl. That's sad, man. I mean, all the guys out there, if you have money, watch out for women because, I mean, not all women are like that. Some women will actually love you for who you are, but some women are fucking the devil in disguise. They're evil. They only care about your money. They're only out there to get you. And not only sexual relationship with women, even friendships with other guys, you gotta watch out, man. If you have status, if you have money, there's many snakes in this world. There's many bad people in this world, and they're out there to get you, man. Please watch out. Shannon Sharpe got his life ruined, man. And I mean, fuck, man. It's just sad, man. I hope he bounces back because we all know, like, she was of age when it happened. I mean, I don't want to comment on it actually because I don't know if he actually raped her or if he didn't. I don't know what happened. So I'm not going to have any comments regarding that. But like it or not, he lost millions of dollars and he got fired from ESPN, which was his main job. He's probably going to keep doing Club Shay Shay since that's his own podcast. He can do it. But fuck, man, that's sad that he got fired from what was a big job he had with ESPN, man. So guys, if you have the status and the money of Shannon Sharpe, please watch out for women and never forget to put the rubber on, except if it's with your wife and you want to have kids. If it's with a random girl and you're just having fun, please put a fucking condom on because they're going to fucking get you. Okay, so guys, next topic. American football is fucking crazy, but only in America. American culture, when it comes to American football, is fucking crazy. I love it. It's beautiful. And it's such a big part of the culture. And it's so beautiful to see, man. Like, even when it comes to high school football or college football, it's so crazy, man. Like, recently, Buford High School in Georgia has officially opened its new $62 million football stadium. It includes 10,000 seats, 15 luxury suites, 3,500 square feet video scoreboard, and 2-story field house with locker rooms. This is high school football in Georgia. How fucking crazy is that? things like that only happen in America. America have a big fucking love for American football, which I fucking respect and I love it. I love the American culture. I fucking love America. And I love the American culture when it comes to their national sport, which is American football. I fucking love it. It's amazing to see and it's fucking beautiful to see. Just as much as my friends who are not European soccer fans, European football fans, they can acknowledge the beauty behind European football just as much as I can acknowledge the beauty behind American football. There's big beauty in all sports. All sports have their own beauty, their unique beauty. And American football, man, this is fucking insane. But just think about the fact that it's high school football. That's fucking crazy, man. And I fucking love it. If I'm being honest, fucking love it. Keep it going, guys. And I fucking love it. I think that's so American. It's so big. It's like the American culture. It's so different to the European culture. Like the European culture, like it's more sophisticated. There's more history, whatever. But American culture is like bigger the better, the stronger the better, the noisier the better, the louder the better. Like we're fucking Americans. You know what I mean? That's American culture. Give me a jumbo hot dog on my big fucking Ford F-150 with fucking jacked up rims, with the fucking car jacked up far away from the tires. That's a fucking American culture, man. They all got fucking guns. I fucking love it, man. I love American culture. Even though I'm Canadian of European origins, my parents from Serbia, I fucking love American culture. So guys, next topic is regarding Cristiano Ronaldo. I know I'm always talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, but fuck it. I have to talk about this topic. So, and this is a fact regarding Cristiano Ronaldo. And it says 367 out of 368 players who played in Euro 2004 have retired. Only one is still playing, and his name is Cristiano Ronaldo. Respect. Guys, I know I love to hate on Cristiano Ronaldo, but if I'm being honest, this is an amazing fact and an amazing attribute from Cristiano Ronaldo. I hate on him a lot. I understand. I know it. But guys, this is fucking phenomenal. This is crazy. This is a crazy stat from him. Salute, Cristiano Ronaldo. I fucking love you. I fucking love it. You're one of the GOATs. And your longevity for the game, your love for the game, your passion for the game, I fucking respect it, bro. I fucking respect it. And I fucking love it, bro. That's phenomenal. That's sensational, bro. Salute, bro. I fucking salute you, bro. I fucking love it, man. Okay, so guys, just because you aren't the king now doesn't mean you won't become it one day. Let's say you're starting off a new project, a new chapter in your life, a new career, a new pathway. Just because now in the beginning of the stage, you're bad at it, you're not really competent, you're not really sure what to do or how to do it. Just because you're not good in the beginning doesn't mean that after a certain period of time or after many years, you're going to be the king. It can fucking happen. If you put your head down, you keep fucking working hard, you never give up, you're always looking for ways to innovate or to improve, always looking for ways to improve, you can one day become the king in that domain. Like me in the beginning of my podcast, I was bad. Even now, I'm not the best. But I know with conviction, one day I'm going to be the fucking king of the podcasting world. Day by day, episode by episode, slowly getting better and better. I'm looking for ways to improve and just becoming a better and better podcaster. And I know it's going to happen. It just goes for everything. The first time you pick up, let's say the first time I picked up a soccer ball when I was 5 years old, I wasn't as good as I was when I was 15, right? Of course, after 10 years, after practice, after never giving up, after always playing and practicing, practice makes perfect, right? I mean, nothing's perfect. You're never going to be perfect, but practice makes perfect. Never give up. Just because now you're a peasant doesn't mean that in 10 years you cannot become the fucking king. It can happen, and it can only happen with consistency, hard work, never fucking giving up, and always looking for ways to improve. If you put all of that together and you work relentlessly like a fucking animal, it's going to happen, man. You're going to become the king of your domain. Just like Michael Jordan got cut off from his high school varsity team, high school team, whatever. He bounced back and he fucking ended up being as the king of basketball. So he went from getting cut from his high school team to becoming the greatest basketball player of all time. Of course, him and LeBron James, but he's top two of all time without a doubt. So guys, if it can happen for him, he's a normal human being, guys. He's a normal human being. If it can happen for him, it can happen for you. Never give up, never lose faith, and just fucking never give up and fucking go at it like a fucking animal. And it will happen, bro. Don't discourage yourself. Always pick yourself up. Even if you face L's, even if you face rejection or failure, brush it off and just keep fucking striving and keep fucking going, bro. Okay, so before I get into this next topic, let me take a little bit of sip of my coffee and water. I talked many times about this topic. I spoke about this topic many times on my podcast. And I just want to make sure that you guys fully understand my thoughts and my opinion regarding this topic. Like I said, little break. Yo, coffee is so good, man. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, so this next topic, guys, I talked about it many times on my podcast, and it's regarding female and male body counts. Many times on my podcast, on my past reality checks, I was more like Andrew Tate-esque, if you want. That's why people always used to call me Andrei Tate, because my name is Andrei and his name is Andrew. Very similar. I understand the joke. Andrei Tate, right? let me give you my real and honest opinion on body count. So what I used to say, it was true. Those are my real thoughts and my real opinion regarding body counts. Now, of course, at the time, I would dramatize it a little bit more than what I actually had to for attention, right? And of course, I was new into this game. I didn't understand that. Just be fully authentic and that will be the best version of you. And that will be the best version for you to succeed into the podcasting world. But everything I said, now, of course, there's a way of saying it, but everything I said, I believe in it. I believe that a woman with a high body count isn't the same as a man with a high body count. Hate me all you want. Hate me for saying it. Call me a sexist. Call me whatever it is. But I didn't decide it. Just reality of life and the nature of life and of humanity and of the world made it be what it actually is. Amongst guys, and this is a fact, I'm just a messenger, don't shoot the messenger. When a guy has a high body count, amongst other guys, we see him as a king. Now, king, we're not gonna fucking suck his dick and fucking obey his orders, obey his rules, but we're gonna praise him. Why? Because he has a high body count. We're gonna be like, yo, bro, you're a fucking killer out here, bro. You're a fucking animal. You're a predator. You know what I mean? Like, you're killing it. You have a high body count. Congratulations, right? Because why? Because it's hard for a guy to have a high body count. That's why we see him as a king. Everything that's hard to accomplish, and when someone accomplishes something that's hard to accomplish, we're going to praise him. Human fucking nature, right? But it's not hard for a female to have a high body count. It's not hard. Any girl, even if she's ugly, I hate to say it, even if she's not the best, let me say it nicely, even if she's not the best looking girl, I'm going to say nicely, she can still have sex every single day with another guy. If she has 100 guys that follow her and 95 of those guys are single, if she texts every single of those guys that are single, want to have sex tonight, they're all going to say yes. Maybe at first they're going to be like, is this a trap? Is she trapping me? Did her account get hacked? Like, what the fuck's happening? But every single one of them, if they know that it's not a trap and that it's actually it's a genuine question you're asking and that you're actually being truthful, they're all going to respond with when and where. They're all going to respond with when and where. But if I take a guy, the most competent guy, the best looking guy, the richest guy, the most famous guy, and he texts all of his girls, yo, want to have sex tonight? 95% are going to say, what the fuck's wrong with you? 95%. And I took the best, like the most competent guy, the best looking guy, the richest guy, the most famous guy, and it would still be like a 95% no. So imagine if I take just a regular guy, 99.999999 rejection percentage. They're going to reject him. 99.99999999999 99999999999% of women will reject him. That's the difference. That's why there's a huge difference between a girl with a high body count and a guy with a high body count. That's the difference. It's easy for a girl to have a high body count. It's easy. For a guy, it's really fucking hard. That's why guys with high body counts get praised by other guys. And that's why women with high body counts, they don't get praised. They get made fun of. People call them sluts. I would personally never call a girl a slut face to face. I would never do it. I would never call a girl a bitch face to face. I think I called the girl a couple of times a bitch. I mean, if I'm being honest, she deserved it. Like, you guys don't know the circumstance and what happened, but she deserved it. But a slut, I don't think I ever called a woman a slut, and I don't think I would ever do it. And that's the difference. And there's always going to be a difference. There's always been a difference between females with a high body count and males with a high body count. And there's always going to be one. I don't care if we go 10,000 years in the future. There's always going to be a huge difference between those two. And now, of course, many people, not only guys, but many people can disagree with me. And some guys will also disagree with me. Hey, that's your opinion. But my opinion is, if I'm looking at it rationally, without emotions, there's a difference. A guy with a high body count, his value goes up. A female with a high body count, her value goes down. It's a fact. I'm just the messenger. If it changes one day, I'm going to say, hey, I was wrong. It changed. That's not the reality anymore. I just see reality. I'm a sociologist. I'm a social scientist. I see the reality of life, and then I say my opinion on it, and I say why it is the way it is, why it is like it is. That's who I am. I'm a social scientist. I have a degree in sociology, and I'm going to have a master's in business. So I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. I only see life through the lenses of a social scientist, and then I come on my podcast, either alone or with guests or whatever, and I talk about it. That's who I am. And like I said many times, a man with a high body count is not the same as a woman with a high body count. It's a fact. Now, of course, sometimes in the past, the way I would say it is maybe not the best way. I agree. Like, I don't need to call them a slut. I don't need to degrade them. But if I'm being nice, there is a difference between those two, and there's always going to be a difference. And there always was a difference between those two. I mean, if you look at any culture across any time, never, and this is something I agree with Andrew Tate, actually. He said that never was a promiscuous woman glorified. It never happened. It's not happening right now, and it will never happen. Throughout any society, any culture, any time frame, it was never glorified. But a guy with a high body count, or with many women in his disposal, he was always glorified and seen as a high value individual or as a high value man. It's a fact. So that's something I do agree with Andrew Tate. Promiscuous women are never going to be praised, while promiscuous men will always be praised. I'm not saying it's fair. Life is unfair. That's life. Just as unfair it is for a woman who's really hot. She has her life way easier than an average guy, right? She has her life way easier. A woman who's really hot, her life will be way easier than a woman who isn't hot. That's not fair. You're born hot. She's born ugly. That's not fair, but that's life. Life is unfair. Life is not fair. The reality of things remain the same. A woman who's really hot will have her life way easier than a woman who's not hot. That's a fact. An individual who's born smart and someone who isn't born smart, in general, this guy's life will be easier than this guy's life. In general. Now, of course, some people can be born really smart and still have a really shitty life, a very self-destructive life. But in general, really smart people, and you're only born really smart. Like, you can become more knowledgeable with university, with schooling, education, whatever. But street smart and just naturally being smart, you're born with it, while this person isn't born with it, and your life's going to be way easier. If you're living in the Western world, if you're born white, your life's going to be easier than someone who's born black living in the Western world. Your life's going to be easier, right? Or if someone's born Asian, Latino, brown, Indian, whatever. If you're born white, you didn't deserve to be white. You're simply born white in a white country. Of course, your life's going to be easier. Is it fair? It's not fair. But is it a reality of life? It's a fucking reality of life. Like it or not, it's a reality of life. Same goes for many other aspects, and same goes for body count. So, of course, in the past, sometimes the way I would say it isn't the best way, but what I would say remains the truth, in my opinion. Let me take a little break. So, guys, recently, I got a new job as a car salesman, and my owner, he sent me and 3 other guys for 1 week of doing like this course, like it's not a course on selling cars. It is a sales course, but the guy who's giving us the course, he's more like a guru, a life mentor, a life coach, a personal development coach, a psychologist, I don't know. But when I get in that meeting, we talk about like philosophy, sociology, human psychology, selling also. But like he's like a life coach more in general. And then I'm like, why the fuck are we here? I'm just like trying to sell cars. Like that's my job now, right? I'm just trying to sell cars. But selling cars, like it or not, you're selling to another human. And you have to have basic knowledge of human psychology, sociology, philosophy, whatever. In that course, and I fucking love it. Like I've been doing it for 4 days now. We're Thursday ever since Monday, and we're finishing on Friday. We're doing 8 to 5 every single day. And then that's going to be like, 45 hours. Then after that, we're done. But in that class, we talked a lot about fear, irrational fear, rational fear, how it directs our life and dictates our life. The word fear and just actual fear, how it has a big influence on our lives. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about fear. So I feel like fear isn't all bad, and fear isn't all good. I feel like there's a mix. And what I mean is, if you're fearing something, like let's say you're afraid to approach a girl, you're afraid to approach girls, that's an irrational fear and that's a bad fear. Because at the end of the day, if you approach a girl, she's not going to kill you. The worst she can say is no, right? I mean, she's only say, I'm not interested. That's the worst that can happen. Or maybe her boyfriend will see it and maybe he'll knock you the fuck out. But even that's like irrational. That's like the chances of that happening are so small and so like impossible that it's almost impossible, right? But in general, the worst that can happen is she'll say, no, I'm not interested. So that's a bad fear to have. And you should overcome that fear. That's a bad fear. What I feel like a good fear is, let's say I'm walking in a forest, me and my friends, and I see a fucking bear coming. And of course I'm gonna be all fearful. That's a good fear, because that fear will ignite the fight or flight inside of me. And that fear is there, it's ingrained in my mind to help me survive, right? That's a good fear. I see a fucking bear. And if I'm not afraid of the bear, I'm like, oh, what the fuck, who cares? Let me walk towards the bear. There's a bigger chance of that bear killing me than if I act rationally. And then how does it go? If the bear is brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back. If the bear is white, you're fucked, right? So if I'm walking in the forest and the bear is brown, I'm going to lay down. Of course, I'm going to be afraid, but that fear will make me think faster and be like, okay, so the bear is brown, I have to lay down. Okay, let me lay down so I'll survive. If I see a black bear, it's like fight back. I guess like you make yourself bigger, you start shouting and you stand your ground. That's why they say if it's black, fight back. And of course, I'm never going to be in the North Pole. I'm never going to see a fucking polar bear. But hey, if I ever see a polar bear, they say you're fucked. Like there's nothing you can do. So hey, knock on wood, it never happens. But that's the good rational fear to have. I see a fucking bear, I'm fucking afraid. Let me try and survive. That's a good fear. But there's also a bad irrational fear. Oh, I'm afraid to start a podcast. Face that fear, because that fear will only make you grow. I'm afraid to approach women. Approach that woman, because when you're facing that fear, it will only make you grow. I'm afraid to approach a bear. Keep that fear, because if you approach 10 bears, I don't know the stats, but I'm pretty sure there's more chance of that bear fighting back than the bear just laying on the ground and you having fun with him, right? You want to stay alive, right? You don't want to die. And also, you don't gain anything by becoming friendly with a bear. You don't gain anything. The bear's not going to be your pet. He's not going to come home with you. You're not going to domesticate the bear. It's not going to happen. He's not going to become your friend. He's not going to become your girlfriend, whatever. He's not going to be there to protect you from other guys. There's nothing to gain from approaching a bear for you to face your fear. But there's a lot that you can gain from facing your fears of talking to women, approaching girls, starting your own podcast, doing something you're afraid to do, like, I don't know the top of my head, starting a business, starting a new job, starting a new life, traveling somewhere, I don't know. But like I said, there are some fears that are rational and some fears that are irrational. If you facing that fear will bring you positive outcomes, then that's something you should face. But if it's simply like a fear, like, oh, yo, bro, I'm afraid to approach a fucking shark, fucking keep that fear, broski. Believe me, keep that fear. I'm afraid of approaching a bear. Keep that fear. Oh, you know what, bro? I'm afraid to go to Palestine because I don't want to get bombed to pieces. Keep that fear, bro. Believe me, you don't gain anything from facing that fear. Keep that fear. Some fears are good and some fears are bad. I feel like naturally we all know you don't have to be fucking Einstein. You don't have to be a fucking intellectual to know what fear you should face and what fear you shouldn't face. But I want to talk about it, and that's my 2 cents regarding facing fear or simply keeping that fear inside of you. Oh, next topic. With time and with new findings, with new researches, and with new scientific findings, knowledge, or whatever, our perception on life changed a lot. Hundreds of years ago, it was normal for the church to burn women who they thought were witches. And the entire society didn't see nothing bad to it. They were like, yeah, that's fucking normal. I mean, there's nothing bad there, right? She's a witch, we have to burn her. That's how we saw it. That's how the world at that time saw things. But now, if someone from 2025, when we look at it, we're like, broski, they were so fucked up in the head. I mean, they were so weird people at that time. We have to put things into context and into perspective. At that time, that made sense. That's why no one really thought twice about it. They're like, yeah, she's a witch, we have to burn her. But now, with new findings, with new research, with new scientific advances, with just fucking becoming more humane and just knowing more about life, about human, about nature and everything, we know that, oh, that was actually fucking retarded and that was actually really insane from us. Let's not do that again, right? Let's not do it again. Now that makes sense. But before, it didn't make sense. That's why they fucking did it. That's why perspective, putting things into context and putting things into perspective is really important. Many times you hear people saying in America, oh, if I was a white guy in the 1700s, I would have freed the slaves. If we're being honest, you probably would have done like everyone else back in those days. Nothing. You just would have went on with your life. You had your own problems and you would have thought that that was normal. Now, I want to be really fucking cautious regarding this topic. At that time, let's say newcomers from the old world. So let's say conquistadors in Europe. When they traveled the world, when they went, the navigators, the Christopher Columbus and all of them, you can't, in my opinion, you cannot say that Christopher Columbus was an evil guy. You cannot say that. Why? Because let's put things into perspective. Imagine you're Christopher Columbus. You're born in the 1500s, 1600s, 1400s, maybe even. You grew up all your life in Europe, in Italy. And then you only saw white faces. You only saw your culture. You only saw the European way of life, which is like, we all know what the European way of life is. Government, structure, houses, taxes. Everything is structured, right? You don't live out in the wild. You don't live out in forests. You live in cities. You live in countries. Everything. There's a government in order. There's structure in order. So imagine you're Christopher Columbus, and that's all you know, right? That's all you know about the world. You don't even know that the world is round. Later on, you find out that the world is round. You're not even sure 100% about it, but you want to test the theory. So then, of course, you go in search of India. That was the main point of Christopher Columbus's trip. He thought instead of going all around Africa and then in the Indian Ocean to go to India, he said, let me do because the world is round. I'm pretty sure it is. So let me do the turn around the world and then I'll get to India faster. But when he went in the Atlantic Ocean, he hit America, the continent America, North America, Central America, and South America. So imagine putting things into perspective. You're Christopher Columbus, right? You arrive there. You're like, okay, so I arrive in this new country, this new continent. I have no fucking idea where I am. In his mind, he was in India. That's why we used to call them Indians, because he thought he found Indians. But later on, he figured, oh, it's a new world. That's why we call it the new world. So he sees a new group of people. He's like, oh, I never saw people of this skin tone. I never saw people who look like this with these features and whatever. They are a human being. Like I said, I want to be really cautious on this. I'm talking about putting things into perspective. So imagine you arrive, you see people you never saw before. You never saw that skin tone. You never saw those facial features. You never saw people who look like them. You never saw people who spoke that language. You never saw that way of life. You never saw their culture, that culture. You never saw that philosophy. You never saw that ideology. That's like a shock to you, like a big, big fucking shock, right? Considering that you don't know anything else but the white European culture. So you see that. And again, I want to be really cautious. If we're looking at material goods, not spirituality or spiritual goods, only at material goods, right? They were less advanced than white Europeans. That's a fact. They were still, in a way, I want to be really cautious, quote unquote, savages, the Native Americans. They lived like savages, right? If you compare them to white Europeans. So he arrived there, he sees that, he's like, bro, these people, in a way, are below us. Now, of course, they're not. I want to be really cautious. They aren't. But if you put things into perspective, it's normal that he thought that about them. It's normal. Anyone would have. And believe me, Christopher Columbus, at that time, he was considered as a really competent individual and a really big intellectual at his time. At that time, they didn't just send anyone to go in search of the new world, to go to lead a boat of hundreds of employees, hundreds of fishermen, whatever, hundreds of sailors. They would send the top tier, most competent and most advanced man that they had at that time, the most educated, the most whatever. They were the best men at the time that they had in the white European civilization. So they chose their best and they said, you, since you're very smart and very competent, you'll go and control the new world and put in place a structure and whatever. So imagine he arrived there, he sees them living way differently, way less advanced technologically, scientifically, and just in general, they were way less advanced, and they lived more like savages than the white Europeans. So of course, your logical brain and your logical thinking would say these people are below us in the race table. Now, of course, we all know that the race table doesn't exist. The only race that exists is the human race. I mean, I'm aware of that and I agree. All human races are equal. We're all equal. But at that time, that's different. Different findings, different research. We're not as advanced as we are right now, so we don't know that. So that time, their perspective, it was normal for you to think that. That's why you cannot say he was evil. In his mind, they were actually below white Europeans because he never saw those people. And when he looked at the way they lived, like savages, not really advanced, they still lived in forests. They still hunted with sticks. They didn't have guns. They didn't have mirrors. They didn't have normal clothes. They didn't have many normal things that were normal in the European world, in the white European world, which they were more advanced. So of course he thought they were more like savages and below the white European race. Like I said, there's only the human race. So of course that's normal. But when you put things into perspective, you don't think that he's the devil. You don't categorize him as evil. You just think about him as a normal human being who did his best at the time. Now, of course, with all our new knowledge, all our new researches, all our new findings about life, about the human, about anthropology, about medicine, about whatever, now we know that that way of thinking in the past was dumb, right? I mean, we're all equal. All human beings are the same. We can reproduce with any race because we're all the same race. We're all the human race. That's why now we know that's dumb. That's why now, if you don't think deeply about it, you just think about it irrationally. You're like, oh, well, at the past, they were so dumb. Well, I mean, they did their best, like it or not, with the knowledge they had. Like, believe me, now, what we're doing in 2025, and in the year 2125, they're going to be like, yo, the people in 2025 were so dumb. We weren't dumb. We were just doing the best we can with the information and the knowledge that we currently have. But of course, in 100 years from now, there's going to be new findings, new knowledge, and new education. So of course, for them, we're going to be dumb. And then in the year 2225, the people in the year 2125 are going to be dumb. And then it goes on and on and on. So that's why now we're doing the best we can with the information we have, with the knowledge we have, just as much as they did the best they could with the information they had at that time, the knowledge and whatever. So that's why we always have to put things into perspective, because once you put things into perspective, that's when you understand that it makes sense. Like, it's rational and it makes sense. So like I said, times change everything. Times and everything changes with new findings. Like I said before, churches would burn women who they consider to be witches. Now we know that it's literally impossible for a woman to be a witch. Like, we're not stupid. We fucking know about it scientifically. We know it's impossible. But at that time, didn't have the knowledge and the technology and the whatever that we have right now. That's why, guys, whenever you want to judge people in the past, put things into perspective. You're not gonna end up being dumb. You're gonna look smart, and it's only gonna make sense. So always put things into perspective, guys. Next topic. Okay, so guys, recently I've been with a couple of my friends. We were at home, and one guy started roasting someone else because he was doing something about his passion. Like, he was chasing his passion relentlessly, and he wasn't getting any results to back it up. Guys, the purpose of life, in my opinion, and Marcus Aurelius, the founder of the Stoicism philosophy, the Stoicism mindset, we all think the same. The purpose of life is to find your fucking passion. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do it, that you can't accomplish it, and be ready and willing to die for your passion. That's the meaning of life. What's the point of living if you have no passion? What's the point of life? Living mundanely, not having true passion, not having anything you're willing and ready to die for, just living life. I mean, you'll live life, but the true beauty of life is finding your passion, something that you get so worked up about it, so fired up inside that you're willing to die for, and that you're actually ready to die for, and that nothing and fucking no one can fucking stop you. I'm not the only one saying it. Marcus Aurelius, who was a big Roman emperor, who found the Stoicism mindset, the Stoic mindset, he says the same. Find your passion and be ready to fucking die for your passion. That's the true meaning of life. That's what makes life so fucking beautiful, man. Believe me. Next topic. Okay, so thoughts on religious institutions and religion in general. I consider myself Christian. As you guys know, I'm a big Christian. I grew up Christian. I was born a Christian. And I'm probably always going to be a Christian for the rest of my life. I was always a Christian. I never had battles with, do I believe in God? Do I really believe in religion? I've always been really Christian, and I've always been a big religious person. But religious institutions are made by human beings, which also means that they're not perfect, because human beings are far from being perfect. That's why when it comes to religious institutions, I'm like, let's try to make it the best it can be. Of course, it's not going to be perfect. God didn't create religious institutions. We created religious institutions, and we also created religion. But at the end of the day, all religions have the same purpose. It's believing in a higher power, right? Like all religions in general, that's the main way of thought. That's the main way of life. It's you believe in a higher power. That goes for all religions: Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, spirituality, karma, whatever. It's all the same logic behind it. But religious institutions, they're man-made, and everything that's man-made is flawed. That's why I feel like religious institutions, just like any other institution in the world, always has to evolve, always has to be up to date, and always has to look to be better and better and evolve and become better and better, because it's man-made, right? And everything that's man-made, we have to maintain, and not only maintain, but innovate and upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. Before, our cars couldn't drive 150 kilometers. Now they can. Before, we couldn't fly planes. Now we can. So that's in transportation. We involved in transportation. Before, it was walking. Then we found the horse, then the car, the airplane, and who knows what's going to be next. So we're always involving in every domain. In the transportation domain, we involved. And education, I feel like in education, we didn't really involve a lot these past years, but we have to evolve. And if I'm being honest, man, maybe the religious institution didn't evolve enough or as quickly as it did. I feel like the most advanced branch of religion out of all religions is Protestantism, which that's what I am and my parents are. We're Protestants, and I feel like that's the more advanced one. And the only reason why it's the most advanced one is because it's the most recent one. It was built in the 1600s in England and Germany. Those two are like the main guys with Calvin and Martin Luther and all those guys. that's the most advanced religion in my opinion. But like I said, religious institutions are man-made, and anything and everything that is man-made is flawed. That's why we always have to keep it up to date. And I mean, am I for religious institutions? I mean, religious institutions, the main idea behind religious institutions is really beautiful. Getting people together, finding love, finding a purpose of community, helping one another, whatever. But it can be flawed. Just like with the Catholic Church, which is a man-made invention, with the priests who would molest little kids. I saw a movie regarding the reality of priests molesting little children, which is really, really sad. And I feel like it's because priests and the Catholic religion, they can't have sex and they can't get married. That goes against human nature. That's why pastors and preachers in the Protestant world, they're allowed to have sex and they're allowed to get married. That's fucking natural, bro. You cannot be a human being and tell someone you're not allowed to have sex. He's gonna fucking go crazy, man. That's not natural. It's not human nature, man. That's fucking crazy. That's a stupid invention from human beings to tell other human beings, if you want to be a priest, you can't have sex. That's really fucking stupid, and it's unnatural, and it shouldn't exist, and it shouldn't happen. That's why I'm all against that, and that's why those things happen, and that's why the Catholic Church should change that. In my opinion, they should fucking change that. I mean, guys, let's be honest. God didn't create Catholicism. He didn't create the Catholic Church. Humans created the Catholic Church. And as imperfect humans can be, and as flawed as we can be, and as sinful as we can be, we're going to sin and we're going to create dangerous fucking things and disgusting things. And that's one of those things. So that's why I hate it when I hear that priests in the Catholic religion can't have sex. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? That's so fucking stupid. Or that they can't get married or have girlfriends or whatever. That's so stupid, man. And if I'm being honest, they should change it, man. Okay, so guys, next topic. Okay, so guys, I'm going to do a personal story. So recently, before I became a car salesman, as you guys know from my big fans who follow my episodes, I worked as a bartender in a nightclub in Gatineau, whatever. I was a bartender. And once I was doing a private event, and inside, rest in peace, very sad, there was a private event. It was not a funeral. I guess it was like a farewell party to a dad of 3 who committed suicide. The energy inside was, of course, it was really heavy, sad. It was a down energy, which of course makes sense. The dad had just committed suicide, I think in like mid-April. And the energy was very down. So, and my bar I had the patio bar. So my bar, one side, I was serving people on the inside, and the other side, it was people on the patio. And how the event worked, it was a private event, only inside. So if people walking by, I wanted to grab a beer at my bar, they could grab a beer, but they had to go on the patio to grab a beer. They couldn't go inside since it was a private event. And so I'm in the middle, right? On my left side, it's inside. On my right side, it's outside, is the patio. Private event, public event. So what happened is I had one guy on the patio. He was an African gentleman. He just came from Cameroon. He was there for like 6 months now. And I was talking with him. He was talking in French. We were speaking. And so one side I had him, serving him beers. And on the other side, I was serving people who were there for that farewell party, whatever. And also more information on the dad who committed suicide. He just sold his IT company for millions and millions of dollars. So he was a multimillionaire. He succeeded in every realm of life. He had a beautiful wife, beautiful children. He was a multimillionaire. He retired with multi-millions of dollars. So in the capitalist world, in the Western world, he had the perfect life, and he was full-on successful. And this other guy, the African gentleman who just came from Cameroon, I think he barely found a job working for Bell, like answering calls. That's like, it's maybe not minimum wage, but it's really not high rewarding when it comes to money. And he was so happy, man. He was talking on FaceTime with his friends from Africa, having fun, laughing. he was talking when he was like, oh, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful life. Can I have another beer, my friend? I'm like, of course, my brother. I fucking love you. Enjoy this beer. And he had no material goods. He had no riches. He had like this basic ass shirt. If I'm being honest, he had like a stupid hat on, like a fucking baseball hat on. You can see that it was not the highest quality of hats, basic jeans, whatever. He had this maybe minimum wage job, and he was so happy, man. So happy, bro. He had the biggest smile. He was joking around with me. We were cracking jokes, and he was so happy about life. He was calling his friends from FaceTime, saying, look what we have here. Look at cars. Look at the road, everything. Like something that I find basic. Like, yo, bro, look at my beer. Heineken, nice cold Heineken. He was so fucking happy, man. And then inside, so I saw the two perspectives. I'll look at him. He had no material goods, and he was so fucking happy. And just, if I turned my head 90 degrees, 100 degrees, I saw inside white people, multi-millionaires, successful, beautiful family, full of friends and family members. He was a perfect success in the capitalistic world, in the Western world, right? And he just committed suicide, man. That just proves that money isn't everything. Money brings comfort. Money can help you in a lot of ways, in a lot of aspects, but money doesn't bring fulfillment. Money doesn't bring joy, and money definitely doesn't bring happiness. So as a sociologist, of course, like my brain and my eyes naturally see those type of things. And when I saw those two things, I was like, fuck, man. Life really, succeeding materially, succeeding money-wise, that's not what life is all about. It's really good. Having money, having success is really good, really good for you. It brings comfort. You can help people, and you can have a lot of fun, but it doesn't bring personal fulfillment. It doesn't bring personal joy. It doesn't bring peace of mind. You know how they say more money, more problems. And it definitely doesn't bring happiness, man. And when I saw that, I was like, I have to talk about this on my podcast. I hope it helps other people, because that's something that's always going to stay in my mind. I'm always going to think about it. It's ingrained in my mind for the rest of my life, that scenario. And I'm so happy that I saw it. And I feel like nothing happens for no reason. Everything happens for a reason. And that's one of the big reasons that it happened, man. And man, it was crazy to see, if I'm being honest, man. Crazy to see, but hey, it was beautiful to see at the same time. Should I continue or should I cut it off right here? Let me do one more, actually. So guys, when it comes to failure, you want to fail as fast as possible and as much as possible, because the more you fail, the more you progress in life, and the more you progress, the closer you're going to be to your goals, the more competent you're going to become, because the only way you can become better and more competent is by actually failing. Failure is a stepping stone to success. And the more you fail and the faster you fail, the closer you're going to get to your dreams and to accomplishing your dreams. The more competent you're going to become, because the more you fail, the more you learn. So I failed here. So what could I do next time to become better or to become more competent in the field that I'm actually in, that I'm actually practicing in? So fail as fast as possible. Fail as much as possible, because the more you fail, the more you're going to succeed. The more you go one side, the more you fail, the more you're going to succeed. That's a reality of life. It has to do with the universe. It's like it's a fact of life, man. Everyone who succeeded, and don't take my word for it. You can say, oh, Andrei, but you never succeeded in anything. Take all the people who succeeded, who have millions of dollars, who accomplished all of their dreams, who accomplished everything that they wanted to accomplish. They all say the same things. The more you fail, the more you're going to grow. And the more you grow, the more you're going to reach your goals and accomplish your goals. So like I said, fail as fast as possible. Fail as much as possible. And even if you become the best version of yourself, you can always improve. You're never going to become perfect. No human being is perfect, and you're never going to be perfect. Life is all about improving, becoming the best version of yourself. But the thing is, you never reach your full potential. You're going to become better. And then when you arrive here, just before you die, you're not going to be perfect, and then you're going to die. You're never going to be perfect. That's the human side of us. We're all human. We're never going to be perfect. So, but the point of life is chasing your dreams and becoming the best version of yourself. So fail as much as you can. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't let failure put ridges inside of your life, which will make you afraid to go out in the world and try new things. Don't be afraid. When you fail, see it as a stepping stone to success. And that's why the faster you fail, the faster you'll succeed. And the more you fail, the more you'll succeed. I think I'm going to cut it here for this reality check. I have more topics, but I'm going to keep it for another reality check. So that was it, guys. Reality check number 20. See you next time. Peace out.